Using ChatGPT as a UX designer in 2023 can actually supercharge your entire design process, because you might already be aware of the fact that AI is taking the entire world by storm, and there is a specific AI tool for all the redundant tasks and manual tasks that you're doing as a UX designer or any other work profile. So why do you want to spend a lot of time doing that manual and tedious work where you can actually utilize the power of AI and make the most out of it? So today in this video, I'm going to explain you how to leverage the power of ChatGPT as a UX designer to supercharge your design process. So without any further ado, let's get started. Hey everybody, hi, my name is Anirudh Paraskar. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today in this video, I'm going to talk about how to leverage the power of ChatGPT as a UX designer. I'm going to explain every single thing with the freshest perspective, assuming that you don't know or you do not have any idea about AI tools, right from the installation to registration to actually giving prompts to ChatGPT. So let's get started. So let's get started by visiting this website called openai.com. You can log in if you already have an account. If not, you can click on sign up. Once you click on sign up, go forward and use your email ID to complete the registration process. But you will also have to validate your phone number for your identity. I personally go forward and use continue with Gmail for convenience purpose. Once you complete the registration process, you would be redirected to a page something like this. This is nothing but your actual ChatGPT for use. On the very left hand side, you would have all the other conversation that you already had with chatbot. So each and every conversation that you do would be stored over here so that you can at any given moment go forward and access the communication that you had with ChatGPT. Here in the middle, that is the place where the actual result would be get populated once you start talking to ChatGPT. This is the actual place where you can go forward and write all your prompts. Moving to the second part, prompt engineering. Now before you start typing something and start talking with ChatGPT, let me explain you a very simple and important concept that you should always remember before you interact with any AI tools, be it ChatGPT or anything else. First of all, you should remember that talking to ChatGPT for the very first time is as same as talking to a newborn baby, because either of them do not have any context about the world. That is why we should always provide as much of context as possible, as much as details as possible before talking to the ChatGPT or any AI tool. For example, if you want to discuss ChatGPT about any idea that you want to solve, any problem statement that you want to work on, any business idea that you have in your mind, you should always provide as much as information as possible, such as the target audience, the demographics, the goals that you would want to achieve, the actual outcome that you're trying to do, the time that you have in your hand to achieve those goals, so that based on all these parameters, ChatGPT can actually give you most optimized result. That is what prompt engineering is all about. You make sure that you provide as much as context and information possible to the chatbot, and only then start asking relevant question and follow-up question. This way you're going to make the most of the ChatGPT, because now the bot has a lot of information and context about what you want them to do. Simple, right? That was the basic concept that you should understand before you get started with prompt engineering. So let's get started by exploring the ways that you can use ChatGPT as a UX designer to supercharge your design process. So let's get started with the first use case of ChatGPT as a UX designer. If you're trying to become a UX designer, you know how important it is to have a case study and a portfolio. But finding that problem statement for your first case study becomes a very tedious task. So now you can go forward and quickly ask ChatGPT to help you with n number of problem statements that you can easily use and solve your problem statements with. So I'm going to quickly copy paste a prompt over here and explain you how it actually works. So here's the prompt. Like I told you that you need to give a lot of context to the ChatGPT or any other AI tool before asking the question straightforward. So here's a small context. I want to become a product designer solving customer first problem. I do not have any hands-on experience solving problem statements. Can you give me one problem statement from each of the following domain? I have 3 domains and categories over here. You can actually modify by whatever domain you are interested in. Now I have also mentioned that the result should include first the problem statement, second the target audience and age group and location, third the time to complete the solution. You can add as much as point that you want. For example, also list of 3 apps present in market for each domain. What I'm also telling ChatGPT is that please present the data in a tabular form. So this is what ChatGPT has come up with, okay? The domain, the problem statement, target audience, time to complete the apps, existing apps, food tech. How might we simplify the process of meal planning and preparation? Working professional busy, 4 to 6 weeks meanwhile. You can also see that ChatGPT is trying to make it more humanized conversation by wishing you all the best for becoming a product designer, right? Let's go ahead with the second use case that you can use ChatGPT as a UX designer. Let's just say now you're working professional or you're just getting started with UX design. If you have a problem statement, we all should understand that before starting the problem statement, we need to ask relevant question to the stakeholders or the person who is asking us to solve that problem statement. Without asking relevant question or without getting to know the problem statement in details, you would never be able to solve the problem statement in as depth as possible. So scenario number 2, giving ChatGPT a problem statement and asking it to generate some stakeholders questionnaire for us to get started with. So let's say the prompt goes like, I'm giving a small context or information about the background. Let's say I am a product designer who is working on a customer first problem statement. The problem statement that I'm working on is trying to solve finance literacy for youth. The product is going to be released for Android and iOS app. Give me 10 questions that I can ask my stakeholders that will help me understand this problem statement in details before I can get started with the solution for the problem statement. Press enter. Now, once you click this, ChatGPT will start doing its own work. So as you see, ChatGPT is now writing some stakeholders questionnaires for us, which we can go forward and ask our stakeholders before we kickstart a solution. You don't actually have to ask the same question to the stakeholders. This can be a starting point for you to get started with. If you read a couple of questions, the questions are very nicely written. For example, what specific aspect of finance literacy do you believe are the most important for you to understand? What are the challenge or barrier you see in the current education system or resources? So once the questions are generated, you can also ask ChatGPT to answer a specific question or all the question given over here, just for the sake of practice. So I'm just going to ask ChatGPT like, assume that you are my stakeholder and I'm going to ask you all these questions. Can you please provide me with the answer for whatever the question that you want to ask from the above listed question? But make sure that you just take this as a reference point and do not replicate the answer as a stakeholder for any other problem statement that you're solving for real consumers. Now let's go forward to a use case number 3, which is doing a product research. We all know that when you solve a problem statement, doing a product research is very important. And one of the most important framework for product research is competitive analysis. Now, competitive analysis means you're doing a sort of benchmarking. And again, benchmarking comes into two forms, internal benchmarking and external benchmarking. And your competitive analysis comes under a framework of external benchmarking, where you identify 5 to 6 competitors in market and understand their solution to a problem statement, their features, what the users have to say about their product, so that you can learn from their mistake, or you can actually understand how someone who is actually doing really very great in market has solved this problem statement, and you can learn from it. So let's get started and try to do some sort of product research using ChatGPT. So the prompt over here is that I'm trying to do a small research on existing products in the market on the same problem statement. Can you provide me with a list of top 5 products that are doing great in the global market and providing great customer experience? You can definitely change this prompt or query based on your requirement also. So let's just see what ChatGPT has to offer. There it is. Now ChatGPT has come up with top 5 products in market that are working in the financial domain. Now you can go forward and read the entire products that ChatGPT has come up with. If you find this very difficult to read, what you can do is always ask ChatGPT to present the data in tabular form or in a bullet form. So let me write a query and ask ChatGPT to provide me this data in a tabular form. So let's go. There it is. With one single click, now ChatGPT will put all the competitors in one single tabular format, which can be easy to read right now. Isn't it amazing? At the same time, you can ask ChatGPT a follow-up questions around features. For example, if you want to know what are the top 3 features that consumer like about this product, let's go forward. Give me 3 best features from the above apps that customers love to use. There it is. Now ChatGPT is generating the entire result for us. What I'm going to do is quickly stop the result, and I can always go back over here and edit the query. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add one single line, which is present the data in tabular format, so that it is easy for us to read the entire data form. Let's go. Now ChatGPT will start putting all the data in a tabular format. For example, Mint, all the features, the other product, all the feature. So now this becomes very easy for us to read and understand the entire competitive analysis for some good features. So there you go. Experience tracking and categorization, budgeting and goal setting, finance insight and alerts. So these are some of the features that people are liking about this product. Let's go forward and try to search for bad experience that people are facing in the same products. So the query goes like, give me the 3 features from the above apps that consumer do not like, presented in a tabular format. There it is presenting everything in the same manner. Isn't this amazing? And it's saving a lot of your time, and you can get started with this data as a reference point. Rather than not knowing where to start with, this data generated by ChatGPT can always use as a starting reference. So let's go ahead with another use case for UX designer using ChatGPT. Now what you can do is you can get started with some sort of persona creation. Now what you can also do is ask ChatGPT to generate some sort of personas. Let's say for example, give me 3 personas for this problem statement that I can use as a starting point. And there it is. I'm gonna press enter. Great. So you get 3 persona as a starting reference point for your user research. Can you see the depth of the result that you're getting from ChatGPT? Name of the person, age, its background, its goal, its challenges, its tech savviness. Isn't it the same amount of data that we would want to see if we are creating a persona of our own? Now let's just say if you want to actually create persona for your own problem statement, you can also go ahead and provide a lot of context to ChatGPT about what the target audience is all about, where do they live, what do they do, what are you specifically looking for in a target audience. If you provide as much as data to ChatGPT about the target audience, it will give you persona as closest to the target audience that you're providing. So you can always use the same for a starting reference point. So let's move forward to another use case of ChatGPT for UX designer. Let's say you want to conduct a user research, you do not have a lot of time, or you are working as a freelancer, you do not have a big team, or whatever the reason is, you can always use ChatGPT to kickstart your UX research process. For example, I'm going to continue with the same problem statement, same scenario, and the persona given by ChatGPT. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to write a prompt. Let's say, so now I want to do a small user research with the first persona. Can you give me 10 questions that I can ask them to understand their pain points and motivation behind using such app? Now, the first persona over here is actually the persona that ChatGPT has given us, which is nothing but Emily. At the same time, such app over here represent the actual problem statement that we have given ChatGPT in the very start, which is this finance literacy app. So like I told you, ChatGPT has this memory where it can understand what are we talking about. So that is why it is important to provide as much as context possible in the very start of the session. So let's go forward and ask ChatGPT for 10 questions for user research. There you go. Like I told you, ChatGPT knows what we are talking about. That's why it has explicitly said that 10 questions for Emily. And Emily is a first persona that is provided by ChatGPT itself. Can you actually understand the power of ChatGPT now? Amazing, right? So here are a couple of questions like, what are some financial topics or concepts that you find confusing or challenging? How do you currently manage your personal finances? What are the tools and resources that you use? So if you see, the questions are not just randomly generated, but it makes a lot of sense. You can use the same question to extract some pain points from our end users. Let's take it to the next level and try to understand some answers from ChatGPT. So now you can ask ChatGPT to behave like persona number 1 and give the answer for this top 10 questions. So let's copy paste the query. Let's assume you are the persona number 1 and I'm asking you this 10 questions. Can you please give me answers accordingly? Give me the answers in the tabular format. Let's press enter. There you go, the questions and all the answer it has started generating. And ChatGPT is now giving you answer for all the 10 questions. It is not skipping any questions, right? Isn't it very awesome? Let's just try to read 1 or 2 answers. What are some financial topics or concepts that you find confusing and challenging to understand? I find concepts like investing, taxations, and credit score to be quite challenging to grasp. How do you currently manage your personal finances and what tools or resources do you use, if any? Currently, I do not have any structured approach to manage my finance, but I mostly rely on basic budget tracking for my expenses. Amazing, right? It sounds as good as a person is answering this question. So let's take it to next level by asking ChatGPT to actually generate the insights for all the user research that we have done. Let us ask ChatGPT to assume that we have done a research on 10 users and let us provide us with the insights of the same user research. There we go. Let's say this interview was conducted on 10 people. What would be the 10 insights that will help me design an optimal solution for this problem statement? Give me in a tabular format. Let's go. There it is. So here are 10 insights or takeaway from the user research which I can conclude as insights and use the same for my solutioning. Let's read a couple of insights. Many respondents find topics like investing, taxes and credit score challenging to understand. None of the respondents received formal education or guidance on personal financing at school. Lack of guidance and accessible information tailored for young individuals is a significant challenge. Amazing, right? It doesn't really sound like it's been generated by a chatbot. It's looked like we as a UX designer have actually come up with this. So let's go with another use case for ChatGPT where we ask ChatGPT to generate some features for MVP, because now the ChatGPT has all the data about the product, the problem statement, the competitive analysis, the good features versus bad feature, user research, and also the key takeaway from user research as insights. So let's ask ChatGPT to generate some features for our MVP. So the prompt goes like, based on the product research and the user research above, can you give me list of 3 features that I can get started with for MVP release? Please provide the result in a tabular form and also give a small description of the feature. You can also ask as much of detail that you want, but right now I'm okay with this. So let's go forward. So there it is. Now ChatGPT is generating the feature. The first feature is interactive learning module. The second feature is budgeting tool. The third feature is personalized finance tip. And it is also explaining you what this feature is all about. Amazing, right? ChatGPT has come up with 3 features that can be used as MVP to release a product in market. Let's go with another use case for UX designer using ChatGPT. Now that we have all the data, let's just say you're a small organization or a one-man company and you do not have a lot of money and time to spend on everything that we did over here with ChatGPT. And if you want to get started with the solution directly, what I would propose you to make sure that generate some hypotheses from ChatGPT so that once you start with your solution, you can test those hypotheses before actually going live into the market. For example, let's go, give me 3 hypotheses from this feature that I can validate going forward with usability testing. Please produce the result in a tabular form. There you go. Now ChatGPT is not just giving you hypotheses but also the key metrics that you need to measure while you're going forward and doing some sort of usability or user testing. At the same time, if you come forward, there is one line that ChatGPT has given over here. By testing this hypothesis, you can gain valuable insights into the usability and effectiveness of the feature, allowing you to redefine and optimize the app to better meet the needs of your target audience. Like I told you in the starting itself, so make sure that you use this power with more responsibility as a UX designer, and never forget to do a small validation testing before you launch the product live into the market. Let's go ahead with another use case for UX designer using ChatGPT, which is usability testing. So now that you have a product, you have the entire research done by ChatGPT and also defined the hypothesis. Like ChatGPT said, you need to test this hypothesis with your end user. Now let's just say you're done with all the user journey, user flow, information architecture and all the other UX deliverable and came at a point where you have designed some early stage wireframes or UI design. Although most of what I said can also be done by ChatGPT, but I would never do that and I would not recommend you to do the same. But let's go ahead, and now that you have everything and you want to test the product with end user, let's just ask ChatGPT to help you with couple of scenarios for usability testing. So here's a prompt. Let's say I have designed the MVP with the above listed features with examples, and now I want to conduct a small usability test. Can you provide me 3 major scenarios that I should be testing with the list of tasks? Give me in a tabular form. There it is, all the use cases that you need to do usability testing with the users along with the task. Let's say for example, scenario number 1, interactive learning modules. Now this comes from one of the features that was given by ChatGPT, assuming that we have designed for it. So it has also given us 4 small tasks that user can complete. For example, find and select the module on introduction to investing. Complete a quiz with the module to test your understanding of investment concept. Watch a video lecture on understanding the compound interest and take notes. Now the same feature can be or cannot be used depending on what kind of feature that you have designed. But this can be a good start for you to get started with. Now that you have asked ChatGPT to provide all the scenarios and tasks that you can use for usability testing. You can also ask ChatGPT to write down some basic and important questions for conducting an usability testing. Amazing, right? So one last thing, I'm also going to share this entire chat with you so that you can actually edit any given chat that you want. You can continue the discussion from here. So next time when you use ChatGPT, this is a new feature. You can actually click over here, and now you can click on share this link and share the chat with anybody that you want. Let's just say, for example, I'm gonna share my name or share anonymously. I'm gonna copy a link. This is how it actually looks like when you go forward and copy paste the link that I've shared. You get to see all the prompts that I've written, all the answers that ChatGPT has given, and guess what? You can use it multiple times. At the same time, you can click on continue this conversation and it will go back to your ChatGPT account and you can start using it from the end. Let's say, for example, I click on continue this conversation. Now it will go forward and open the same ChatGPT prompt and I can continue from here. I can go back on the top. Let's say, for example, I can update this query and I can submit again. I can go on the top and update anything that I want as per my use cases. I can add something over here and press enter and it will generate new query for me. I can also copy paste this specific query that I like and open a new chat and also paste that query and start a new conversation from whatever I want to do like. So make the most of this entire queries and start practicing and start using ChatGPT to leverage the power of AI as a UX designer and save some of your time to spend that time on something that is more important in life. That was a couple of examples that you can use ChatGPT to leverage the power of AI to supercharge your design process as a UX designer. You can also explore a lot of other ways by which you can make the most out of ChatGPT to help you in your day-to-day life versus your professional life as well. So if you found this video useful, make sure that you share with your family and friend who can make the most out of ChatGPT to leverage the power of AI.